Hello everybody, it's your boy Joshua Wysocki back with another video today. Today's going to be our Goosebumps book review. So today's video is going to be Night of the Living Dummy 2. See the back of it. This is the reprint, everybody, so I don't have the original print, I just got the reprint. So basically, it's about this girl named Amy, whose original dummy is named Dennis, who I absolutely love Dennis's character. I like Dennis, okay? Is, basically falling apart, and he's old, and he's like in disrepair, and he needs repairs and stuff like that. And her father ends up she's been mad that every time he does her when he makes him laugh, his head falls off. So she gets mad about it, and he says that his dad buys her a dummy named Slappy from the book, okay, from a pawn shop nearby his work, and he said that the owner of the pawn shop was happy to get rid of him. So Amy's loving Slappy, and she she reads the card that brings him to life and all that shit. And at first, everything's going good. She likes practicing with him. She thinks it's cool. She thinks that the dummy already knows, what she's gonna do first. But then Slappy starts to do up to his old tricks. Hurting people, being mean. He makes the first night, or one of the nights, he basically ruins her older sister's painting that she was she painted, which was actually not bad of a painting from what I've seen, what I've heard in the book and in the movie show, which is supposed to be what the painting looked like in the show. I loved it. The painting actually was pretty good for a teenager, just being honest. It was professional artist good. Anyways, so she gets blamed for it because she finds the paintbrush somewhere in the hallway when it was Slappy, and she goes into her room, and she says to Slappy, "Oh, I'm sorry to be brought into a weird family, Slappy." And then before she goes to school, and then she sees paint on his hand. He says, "Oh, it's red paint. What the?" And then she walks out of the room, and then okay, so then they go skip ahead a day, and her friend is what's it called, drawing, or for I guess a dance or something. I don't know what it was for. And she's talking about boyfriends and guys they might like. And her sister comes in and yells at her, "Don't use my markers. You're gonna use them up." He says, I'm not. He says, don't go into my room and shit." And she's like, "Just stay out of my life," typical things that a girl or a guy would say to their older or younger sister. Between the older and a younger sister, or older or younger brother. And her friend's younger sister, who she was babysitting while she was over at her house, Amy's house, finds Slappy and starts to play with him. And Amy sees this, and he says, "Don't touch that." He says, "Oh," and then her friend says, "Well, he's not gonna hurt him." And he's saying, something. I don't know what he says. She says that, oh, he's just saying he didn't like being in that closet. He was stuffed up. And he says, "Well, you must not touch that. It's dangerous." And he's like, and then she says, the little girl says, "Yeah." Slappy says, I think he says it's dangerous. And he says, "Hey, more," or whatever her friend's name. He says the guy that she likes' name doesn't want to be with you because you're like a booger brain. Like that. And all of a sudden, Slappy starts, almost really grabs the little girl's hand after she says, "I like him, he's funny," and almost basically breaks her hand. He squeezes it to there's no end, and almost break every bone in her hand, because that's how hard he said he was squeezing it. After they got Slappy loose, okay, her mom comes in the room, and Amy's mom comes in the room and says, "What's going on here?" And then she says Slappy was holding on to what's her name's hand and wouldn't let go. And he says, Says that's you're just a liar. The older sister, her friend says, just a big fat liar. I don't want to see you ever again. I'm like, what the fuck? It's not even the girl's fault, and that's when I read the book and when I've seen the episode too. She says it in the episode. It's not even her fault, and you're naming it her fault. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, your friend did say, "Don't touch that; it's dangerous," and she didn't listen. So honestly, whose fault is it? You're the one watching her. It wasn't Amy's job to watch her. Supposed to be watching. You're supposed to listen to your friend. If she says something it's dangerous, you listen. She'll listen if it's dangerous. Anyways, so they have another family night talent, family talent show. They always do, okay? And she does with Slappy, and she's being mean to all these people. And oh my god, I love the I love Slappy for how mean he was to the parents, especially the younger brother. It was hilarious. He says, "You're such a booger brain. You once tried to cook an egg, bury an egg pack to get a chicken." And I cracked the hell up. I'm sorry, that was so funny. And I think he says some bad things about the dad. I forgot what he says. Oh, about the hair. He says, "Is that your dad's real hair?" or something like that. I thought that was funny. There's some other ones that was good too, but I forgot what they were. And then there was so after a while, Slappy one night decides to almost hurt I think he was gonna kill them. Honest to God, if he would have succeeded, he grabs Amy's dad's guitar and is about to whack them while they're sleeping on the couch, like whack them with the guitar. I'm not sure how much first Slappy could put in a guitar whack, but if it was good enough, he could seriously do some damage to both of them. So I guess seriously do some damage. So he whacks them with the guitar. He almost whacks them with the guitar, but Amy tackles Slappy just at the exact moment, and but it destroys the guitar in the process and gets in so much trouble. So the next day, she's basically sitting there and at breakfast, and they're like, "Oh, well, we can't punish you because we both know that won't work." And they're trying to say, "Well, so I'm not crazy. You just don't believe me." And I'm like, "I believe you, Amy. I believe what you're saying." When I first read the book and watching that movie, like I believe you. I believe you, Amy. I'm not gonna lie. I believe you, and I love that. Okay, then so she decides she's bringing the Slappy to school, and she says, I might be crazy, but I'm not crazy enough to let you talk for me." So she dumps him into a sewer crate, okay? And he's like, on the way down, he's like, "Hey, don't do this, no!" And then he hits the water. And then, so she gets home from school that day, and she is cleaning up some footprints in the room, okay? And she is saying, and she said, and they're about to leave. She says, "Why did you make all that shit up?" It says, "I didn't do that, but you won't believe me anyways, okay?" I love this one scene, okay? I'm being serious. In the book and in the episode, this is the greatest scene, I think, okay? That shows you how evil Slappy can really be. She goes upstairs, and who's on her bed? Slappy. And he turns around and says, "That wasn't nice to do. That wasn't really nice, Amy." Says, "You and me are one." Says, you are my slave forever. You spoke the words, Korea, Adon Maru, Karano, Odonahoma. We are now one. Says, "No, I won't let you." He says, he attacks Slappy and pins him to the ground. And she says to Slappy, "Oh my," she says to Slappy, Slappy says to her, "Amy, face it, I can hurt you and your family in 100 ways." That basically means I can kill your family in 100 ways. And I'm just saying, and what I would think he meant by that, okay? So just then, Amy's sister walks into his room. I forgot what her name was, but she says, "Oh, he's alive." And then Slappy stands up by himself and says, "Hey, wanna play?" when he looks at, it says her name, "Wanna play?" and they both look at each other, scream, and then they walk into another room, run into the bathroom or something to hide, and then they remember their brother, and their plan was with their brother was to, their brother was, okay, where was I at? They were, shit, oh yeah, so they run into another room. They remember their brother's in the house too, and they just forgot about him, so they go to try to find him, and he's nowhere to be found. Just then, they're fighting. They're trying to fight Slappy, and he just like says, "You looking for someone?" Find Slappy, and he's there, and they're fighting him, and he's dodging every attack. He's like beating them, like he's like winning. And then he thinks, "Don't you get it? This family's mine now. I'm the leader of this family." And just then, someone dives and tackles Slappy, and he breaks into a piece. Into pieces. And just then his parents come home and he says, "What the hell's going on here?" And they're like, "So mom, dad, Amy was telling the truth. Slappy was alive and he was evil and he tried to hurt us." It says, "Oh my god." It says, "And Chet saved us," and or their brother's name, forgot their brother's name. And he says, "Wait, calm down. What did I do?" It says, "Wait a minute. If you were up," it says, "I was sleeping." Says, "Wait, if I was up there, and if you were upstairs sleeping and we were down here, then who tackled Slappy?" Now in the book, it's just I guess you say foreshadowed or lean to that Dennis tackled Slappy, but in the actual episode, which I do like the episode a lot more than I like the book, okay, book and thing, because it gives it more to open interpretation or less open interpretation. They show it turns the thing. Dennis is standing on a coffee table, and he's like, "It's good to be back in the family." So I like to know what you think. What happens after that? I honestly believe that Dennis was a good dummy, and just like, these are my family. You're not turning my family, bitch, and just tackled Slappy to the ground and destroyed him. Not doing anything after that, and just like helped out the family afterwards, like, make lunches for the kids, and like, been an overall part of the family. That's what I like about Dennis, because he's probably one of the few dummies like Rocky in the book series who was a good dummy, who became a good dummy, even though Rocky did some bad shit during the episode and in the book, but realized that what he was doing was wrong. That's what I like about Rocky. Anyways, that's it for today's video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about Night Alone Dummy 2, and what your favorite Goosebumps book is, and if you like these things or these reviews, I'll keep doing them. See you later. Bye.